We have an amazing 75 rated match to start off this episode of Raw on the pre-show. I forgot to put Rey Mysterio on Team WCW, but it's the pre-show, so it's not the end of the world. And we see Tez and Ray, who are great by the way, beat Canyon and Buff Bagwell. Next up, we have Chris Benoit pulling a 90 in his match against the Big Boss Man. He did get a hip strain, which is not good, but hopefully it's not too bad. Yeah, it's fine. Then we have Jericho defeating K-Quick in submission. Before the match, Jericho dared someone to come out here, and he told Regal that this is an example of what's going to happen. Then Big Show and Albert get into a bit of an argument about who's the better big man, and it was Big Show. And for some reason, Big Show's been winning by submission a lot. I don't know what a Big Show submission could be. If someone knows, please tell me. Edge and Christian are backstage when they're interrupted by Team Canada, Lance Storm and Mike Awesome, and Team Canada challenge the two to a match. In the match, it's a 72. I thought I would have done a bit better, but that's fine. Edge and Christian beat Team Canada when Christian tapped out Lance Storm. So yeah, fair enough. And they have the Raven calling out Undertaker, saying how the American Badass is just a fake rip-off version of some Western biker cowboy man. So, instead of pretending to be someone, how about you face me tonight? And we see Undertaker wipe the floor with Raven in 9 minutes. Commentary's not very good, but that's fine. A W for the Undertaker there. Then we're backstage. DDP and Booker T, they're talking to Vince. They're like, Vincey boy. As you know, the two of us, WCW legends, and you hated us, Vince. Don't pretend you didn't. We know you hated us. So tonight, we're gonna have a tag match against two of your precious WWF boys, the Hardys. And afterwards, we're gonna go to the pay-per-view, kick some ass of some other WWF guys, and make WCW proud again. Vince just laughs them off. He says that there'll be perennial jobbers in his company, losing to the likes of Al Snow, Test, and K-Quick. And then, obviously, Booker T and Matt and DDP win. But it was Jeff Hardy who pulled out an 85, who was the star of the show. Since when was Jeff Hardy a god? In 2001? Jesus. And then Triple H he's fuming, Stone Cold's not backing him up. Stone Cold's not really helping this two-man power trip. He's too focused on defending his WWF title against Undertaker at the pay-per-view. Meanwhile, he's out here working his ass off for the both of them. That's when Test interrupts him, and we have an 82 match as Triple H defends his title against Test. And 82 is pretty good, only in 4 regions, but we take that. Basically, the key notes from this is Rey Mysterio is pretty good. Jeff Hardy's god. There's a bit of animosity between the two-man power trip, and DDP and Booker T are going to make Vince look like an idiot. On the pre-show, not as good as the Raw's pre-show, Spike Dudley wins the light heavyweight title from Jerry Lynn. 69 from Jerry, 52 from Spike, not too bad. And then start the actual show. Team Canada getting a win this time against the X-Factor, X-Pac and Just Incredible. Lance Storm was the best, obviously, because he's Lance Storm. Mike Awesome did a good job. Next, we have Buff Bagwell, Brian Adams, and Brian Clark. And they're backstage, and they start a little bit of a scrap with Rikishi and the APA. And the APA, they love to fight. Brian Adams and Brian Clark, they love to fight. And Rikishi and Buff Bagwell went along with it. At a 68, where WCW gets a win Well, the WCW guys beat the APA and Rikishi. Is it recording? It is. Then Eddie Guerrero cuts an angle about how in 9 days' time, I believe, he's going to lie, cheat, and steal his way to victory. Just a normal Eddie Guerrero promo. Shane McMahon and Perry Saturn are backstage, where Perry Saturn has had enough of Shane. You know, Shane thinks he's the man, so Perry Saturn has dubbed it upon himself to teach Shane McMahon a lesson. And sadly, Shane McMahon wins. Perry Saturn and Moppy, they couldn't get it done. Shane McMahon with the win, even though he was worse than Perry Saturn. Anyway, we have Kane. He's in a dark room. And he's saying how his brother's not the same that he used to be. He's just a changed man. Tonight, he faces off against someone who thinks they're better than they are. Tonight, he will face off against Booker T. And then at Judgment Day, they will team up. And they will both come back with singles gold. That's not necessarily true though, but who knows. Then Taz calls out Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle makes fun of Taz, asking why he isn't on the commentary booth, and why he looks like he's the one that ate the elephant. And then in 81, Kurt Angle's really good, at 95. Damn, who knew Kurt Angle was so good? DDP and Kenyon, then... Oh, that should not be Chris Jericho and Steve Austin. Pretend they call out. That should not be Chris Jericho. It should be Triple H. That's right. They call out the two-man power trip. And that should be... Okay. Basically, Kenyon said that he's going to bring a friend. They're going to verse a two-man power trip for their titles. And even though Triple H and Steve Austin, they're not getting along very well in the match, they still could beat the debuting Rey Mysterio Jr. and Kenyon in 82, which is very good. Then Rhino gores Taka Michinoku just in backstage to regain his hardcore title. And then a little bit of a hype video for Booker T and The Undertaker. As we know, Booker T is four-time WCW champion at this point, I believe. You can't check, can you? Wait, well, this one. Yeah, 4-time champion at the time. And we have a 79 main event where Booker T and The Undertaker actually have great chemistry, so we'll definitely do this again. And yeah, The Undertaker beats Booker T, as you would expect. And 84 is really good for SmackDown. The InVasion storyline is not very coherent. You know, so far we got a bunch of random WCW guys, like Team Canada, the Brian Adams, Brian Clark, Buff Bagwell, Rey Mysterio, Kenyon, DDP, DDP and Booker T. They're just showing up to work and they're challenging some of the WWF guys. Meanwhile, a lot of the WWF seem to not care, but who knows.